let's sell the van. Carefully. Tight squeeze. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today we are talking about, well, we're talking about the van, and specifically we're selling it. Hence the title. Let's lead into how we got here, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and what's next. A little teaser on that. So, selling a van in 2025 is unique. And it has its challenges, but there's definitely some things you can do to help your journey and to help the process. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So first, let's get into why we decided to sell the van. So, I mean, the van's great. We love it. We've had a ton of great adventures in it. We've had it now just a little over 2 years. And in that 2 years, we've built it up twice. We've taken it to 9 different states. We've done about just under 30,000 miles, been to a dozen expos, met some really, really amazing people. And in that time, especially, fast forward, once the van was built and fully done and we're going on adventures, something felt like something was missing for me. And that's ultimately, I think, a big reason of what led me to want to sell the van. And what I realized is throughout the build process, that was actually one of my favorite parts, was the actual building and going to builders and meeting builders and meeting the different people in the space and doing something on the van and then taking it out and testing it out and then, making some tweaks and ultimately, building what we have today. So that was something like that really dawned on me, is like that was the part of the process that I really loved and I was starting to miss, which was not so much like building the van, but just like building and doing that part of the whole process. And so, when I looked at the market and I looked at what vans like mine were selling for, I saw the opportunity to jump on it before I put too many miles in the van, before it got too old. Let's talk a little bit about the van itself. We have a 2022 Mercedes Sprinter 4x4. It's on the 144 chassis. And so a couple things that make this van very unique and carry a little bit higher of a value is the fact that it's a 2022. It's the last year that Mercedes made the true 4x4. In 2023, they went to the all-wheel drive, the 4MATIC. They also went with a smaller motor in 2023. So 2022, we have the 6-cylinder single turbo, 8-speed transmission. And in 2023, they went to the 4-cylinder twin turbo, 9-speed, all-wheel drive. So the 2023s and up are great. I think, they get amazing gas mileage, and, the all-wheel drive has really, it's done really well. I think they've had maybe one problem with it. But for me, the type of driving that I enjoy doing, the type of off-roading that I enjoy doing, I like having that level of control. I like to be able to go to 4 high if I need to, and or 4 low if required, or just stay in 2-wheel drive. I like the power of the 6-cylinder engine. I like how I can maintain 65, 70 miles per hour going up Highway 80 into the Sierra Mountains. I like those things. You can't do that in a 2023. And I have a friend who has one, and we were driving up to Tahoe, and I left him in my dust. And I had it at 65 on cruise control, no problem whatsoever. That was a big piece. The van also has the extended warranty. So I purchased the extended warranty, which is transferable. So I got a 6-year, 120,000 mile warranty, and I prepaid for service A and service B. So these were all things that I knew were gonna help add value to the van. And so that takes me to the next piece, which is how did I value the van? So admittedly, when I first put it out there, I just was like, I think I'm gonna sell it for X. And my friend's like, yeah, that's probably a little low, man. You might want to kick that up a little bit. And so I kicked it up, and a week went by and I didn't get a single bite. and I only had it listed on Facebook Marketplace. And so let's get into how do you sell the van? So Facebook Marketplace is a great spot, especially if you're a part of the different Sprinter forums. I think I'm a member of like 6 different Sprinter forums where people advertise the sale of their van. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace and I listed it in all the forums first and foremost. Then I listed it on Sprinter Source itself, which is a great forum. It's one of the best Sprinter forums out there for if you have an NCV3 or VS30, T1N, vans for sale, miscellaneous parts, wants. They have it all. It's a great site, and I'll leave that link down below. And then I remembered that there's another site, and I've actually met this gentleman at the expos, which is Van Life Trader. And so I've met John from Van Life Trader, and he's amazing, and he does really great work, and he does great advertising, and he has a website that also posts to Facebook, and he also advertises at the expos. So I reached out to Vaughn, who works with John, and I've known Vaughn for many years. I met Vaughn over at GoCode, and I told him what I was looking to do, and he said, totally help you out. So partnered with them, and we got the van listed on Van Life Trader, and it got posted to Instagram. Totally, mine just went blank there for a second. Cool. So it was listed for about a week, and it got a lot of likes. I saw that on the Instagram post. I saw that I got forward, and I was like, okay, great. Like any day now, I'm gonna get a message. Lo and behold, I got a message on a Friday from a local couple who messaged me. They sent me a message, and they're super interested in the van, and I called them up. They were actually heading out of town, and they were going to be back early the following week, and they wanted to see the van. They actually lived in the Bay Area, which I was like, great. And so got really excited about that. I sent them a bunch of additional information. They saw my Instagram, and I sent them a bunch of extra photos of the van. I sent them a link to my blog, and a link to a video that I did on the interior of the van, and I'll link that up if anybody wants to see it. Then I was doing a little more research, and I realized that I had the opportunity to potentially get the van appraised. And so that's what we're going to talk about next, is getting your van appraised is really, really key, and it's really key to get it done by a licensed appraiser. So I worked with Stacy, who I found her contact information through Van Life Trader, and I contacted her, and it was absolutely amazing. She walked me through her entire process of what it's going to look like, and she sent me a questionnaire, which I filled out, and then I needed to send her 1 to 2 photos on every accessory on the van. To support it, it needed to be within the last 2 weeks, so couldn't be anything old. They needed to be unedited. They just need to be just raw, straight photos, and then photos of the van. And so I think I ended up sending her like 60 photos of the van, and I also paid to have it rushed. She has a standard rate that will get you your appraise back in, I think it's about a week, and I think that's $225 or $250. Don't quote me on that. She has a rush service where she can get it done in 72 hours, and I think she has another one where she'll turn it over in 24. I opted for the 72 because I wanted to have the appraisal back before I met this couple. And so I worked with her. I think I sent her the invoice and everything on a Thursday. She had everything to me by Saturday, and the appraisal came through, and it was right at what I had the van currently listed at. It was actually $1,000 more, which I was like, perfect, super validated. So why do you want to get your van appraised? Multiple reasons. Number one, you want to validate the price in which you're selling the vehicle for. That's really, really key. You can't be selling your van for $150,000 if it's only going to be worth $125,000. Of course, at the end of the day, so your van is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. But let's be logical here, let's be realistic. So that was really key for me, knowing that I had the van listed at an appropriate price that lined up with what it was kind of going for, and she compared it to other comps out there and everything listed out on the market today. It also helps with your purchase, the person who's going to buy the van. It can help them with their financing. They can get financing for a van like this if they can show that that's what the true value is. Because if you run the Blue Book on a 2022 Mercedes Sprinter, it's like $50,000. Well, the van is not worth $50,000, it's worth significantly more. And so you need to be able to show that to the bank, or they're not going to lend you the money, whether you're going to get like a personal loan or an RV loan. And the third would be insurance. You need to be able to get the vehicle insured. You need to be able to get it insured for what it's worth. And so that's the other big thing. So went through all that, met the couple, they were great. We took a deposit and then they ultimately backed out. They had some challenges on their end, not gonna really get into it. We left, everything was super amicable. They were a great couple and I wish them nothing but the best. During that process though, actually another couple reached out to me and I let them know that I had taken a deposit and that the van was pending, but they said, hey, if anything happens to fall through, please let us know. Well, when the other buyer pulled out, I reached out to them. They're now flying here. We did some phone calls, we exchanged a bunch of information, and I took a deposit from them, and they are flying down here next week. Now it's time to get the van ready for them. I washed it like a week ago, but we're gonna get the van cleaned today, so we're gonna get it all washed up. We're gonna clean the inside. They had some stuff shipped down here, which I was more than happy to help accept because they're gonna travel back with it and do some camping. So they ordered some stuff on Amazon, sheets, bedding, stuff like that. So got all that washed. We're gonna get the bed made today. We're gonna get the water filled up. We're gonna get the van ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna take a couple of photos. That's how I did it. And that's, I think that's really key. The appraisal, really important. A ton of photos, really important. I kept very thorough documentation on everything that we put in the van, whether that was all the stuff on the exterior of the van or all the stuff on the interior of the van. I had everything documented. I had receipts for everything. I was able to have all that information, which is, again, this validates and kind of shows that you know what you're doing and you're not selling crap. I put a lot of effort, a lot of pride went into this van. And I showed that along the way. I talked about that continuously in my blog. I talked about that in in different videos, which was all out there in the open for someone to see. And they watched a lot of the videos. They watched a lot of videos that Dimitri had put out on his build process and his build philosophy. So all those things kind of led to where we are today. Let's get the van ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna run in and grab some coffee, and yeah, I think that's pretty exciting stuff. So we never did a proper walkthrough of the exterior of the van, so let's just do that now. So this is what, this is what they're buying. So 2022 4x4 144. We have it on some bronze method 701, 702 17s. Those are going to be 265 70 17s. We have the van compass 4.3 with the inverted rally struts. So that suspension was that upgrade was great. Brought the van back up to stock ride height and just made the overall ride amazing. Flatline Vanco Safari rack with their standard ladder. We have the van speed capsules. We have the Agency 6 storage lockers back here. Owl ladder tire combo carrier B2 with the mini monster with the 1-up Owl step, and we got some Baja S2s sports right there wired in to the Garmin. The other Agency 6 panel, and then Fiamma F45S awning. Okay, up front we got the hood wrapped. We have Alpha Rex Nova series lights. These things are awesome. We got CA tuned hammerhead bumper with a Smitty built 12K winch. We got Baja Designs LP6s, Agency 6 Fairlead and Shackle, Mad Max D-rings, Baja Designs SAE fog lights up front, and LP4s up here as the dish lights. Yeah, let's go home and we got our coffee. Let's get this thing cleaned up for them. It's gonna be the last time we're washing it. It's kind of sad, actually. I'm excited for this new chapter. I really am. I'll put you down for a second. While we get going here. I'm really excited for this new chapter, though, that I'm starting, this new build. So let's talk about that for a second. What are we doing next? We're gonna do a truck. I miss trucks. I've had a lot of trucks in my life. I had a Sonoma, I had an S10, I had a half-ton two-wheel drive Chevy, I had a 3/4 ton Chevy crew cab Duramax diesel. That thing was awesome. I've had a Tacoma pre-runner. Let's see. I had a Tahoe. Well, that's an SUV, that doesn't count. So that's all. That's my truck. That's what we've had as far as trucks are concerned. cars or just total vehicles outside of that, I had a Tahoe. I think it was super cool. I had my Bug. That thing was a ton of fun to build up and see that thing go. And then we had the Sprinter. And so now we're gonna bring a truck back into the mix. We're gonna bring a Toyota Tacoma, and that's all we're gonna say as far as that's concerned, because that's gonna be the next set of videos that we're gonna do. The next build series, we're gonna do a little unveiling on what we're picking up. If everything works out, and the van gets picked up next Thursday, that's the plan. If the vehicle that I want is still in the lot, I'm gonna go up there on Friday and get it. I took Thursday off of work to help support the transfer and the sale and the handoff of the van, and then I took Friday off also, so I can maybe hopefully go pick up my new truck. If for some reason that vehicle that I want sells, they have a couple of the other dealerships around here in the Bay Area have some more coming in. So if you look back here at the van, everything's all the sheets are stripped off. So yeah, we're gonna go give this thing a quick little bath. We're gonna clean the inside. We're gonna dust it off. We're gonna wipe everything down. We're gonna fill the water. We're gonna make the bed for them, and that's gonna be it. So that's it for the video. As a recap, selling your van in 2025 is it can be hard. End to end for me, I think we got it done in about 6 weeks, and I owe it to John and the team at Van Life Trader, because that is where I got the most leads. That's where the people, the couple that are buying the van, they found me through Van Life Trader. And so I can't recommend that enough. It's a really good bang for your buck from a dollar standpoint. I'll have that stuff linked down below for you. And I'll have a link to the site that I used to get the van appraised. I'll have that link down below as well. It's really important to note, the appraiser is legit. It's not just somebody who's just throwing some numbers together. She is a licensed vehicle appraiser who specializes in vans. So that's really key. And you get a very thorough, 20+ page PDF that you can use and you can give to the people buying the van. So I've already sent it to the new owner. So, all right, we are home. We're going to get started. So that's it for today's video, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming along on this part of the journey with the van. It's been a ton of fun. I know I haven't been making as many videos as I want. So hopefully we'll make that change. But to all the builders out there that worked with me, thank you. You're all amazing. Dimitri at Cirque Supply, Rigwell, Max at CA Tuned, Silas at Flatline. You guys have just been super, super supportive. Martine and the team over, and Martine and Aria at Campervan HQ, you guys have been super supportive. I mean, there's just so many. And then not only have I met all these, these brands and I got to work with them, I have the honor now to call a lot of these people my friends. And I can call Martine at any time of the day and he'll pick up, because he's a friend for life. And I can call Dimitri at any time of the day. He's really excited for this new venture. When I told him I was doing a truck, he got super excited because he has a van, but he also has a truck. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.